Okay, so I'm going to keep this pretty brief, but I should touch all the bases, and I should have a plan going forward towards the end of the week, and hopefully I'll have some results by then that can be included in the poster presentation that you mentioned, the slides for the Antibody Engineering Conference. So, most recently, I would say Thursday, Friday, and the better part of Saturday, I tried IG Fold in the hopes that it would be faster than AlphaFold, but I ran into a ton of issues getting it to run. I installed Conda, which was necessary for all the packages. I installed all the packages, IG Fold, OpenMM, AbNumber. All of those were installed successfully, but I ran into countless errors along the way, and I couldn't actually get IG Fold to run due to like a segmentation fault or something like that. On HPCC, I couldn't get it to install even because of something with PyTorch. Like PyTorch was not up to date or something of the sort. But on my local computer, I could get it installed. I just couldn't get it to run. And I think one time I did start a run with it, but it crashed, and the next day the terminal was still crashed. So for the immediate future, I'm not going to try it again. I'm going to AlphaFold just so I can get all the structures run through. So I went with AlphaFold. I submitted all of the structures from the most recent, all the structures with frequencies greater than 2 from the VDJ, the one from June of this year. So all the clonotype sequences. I got their variable heavy, their variable light for all the viable ones that had both heavy and light chains. I concatenated them together with the constant heavy and constant light from the plasmid sequences that I had on Genius for the 10x that you mentioned I could use. I had a linker. I put a linker in there, also from the plasmid, and I submitted them through AlphaFold. So yeah, I did not figure out how to make AlphaFold generate multiple outputs. I know how to check the PLDDT score now. It's in the generated PDB file. It's right next to like the B factor field that like says the uncertainty. However, the higher the PLDDT, the better the confidence in the position. Unlike B factor, like the higher the B factor, the lower the certainty in the position. So it's opposite of that. And during docking, I think going forward, I'm just going to use Chimera. They have like a protonation module for the protein structures, not the ligands. I've always been protonating the ligands with OpenBabel, but I'll do it to the protein structures as well because, I don't know, van der Waals interactions that can affect that. After reading some Rosetta Commons posts, I was like, maybe this is a better idea. We didn't do this in the COVID project. We only did it for the ligand. But going forward, maybe not this week, going forward, I may implement this. I probably should, rather. Okay, so all sequences with frequencies greater than 2 were extracted from this one. They're also extracted from the older spreadsheet, which I have here. This one is from March 11th, 2022. They're also extracted from here. And most of those sequences, essentially all of those sequences from the June one, have run through AlphaFold. And I have the PDBs of those. The ones from the March one I submitted today, and they're running. There aren't many viable ones. However, one caveat that I noticed was the first 33 clonotypes in that spreadsheet. I didn't specify, but it's in this spreadsheet, in the June 10th one. They were incomplete sequences. They couldn't be run. And what I mean by that is, you see clonotype 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. They had only light chains. So they're not viable sequences that I can submit both a heavy and a light chain for. They're not complete. So like the first 33 are junk, essentially. I mean, okay, 31 has it has 2 heavy chains that I have to select between. But the remainder, going down up until about, 33, is, they're incomplete sequences, and I can't really do much with those. The remainder I've submitted. And so I mean, the viable sequences, most of them from this batch have been run. However, the problem is all of these top sequences that aren't viable, these are also the ones with the greatest frequencies. So if I go to the clonotypes tab, you can see that clonotype 1 through about 33, they have the highest frequencies, 23, 22, whatever, 23. And then going lower, you only have frequencies of 3 and 2. And so most of the ones that I ended up docking for this particular data set have frequencies of 3 and 2. So that's not really conducive because, and they have these frequencies because, like I said, the other ones aren't complete sequences that can be run. And so having just like this limited number of frequencies from this data set isn't really conducive to like analyzing sort of like frequency versus binding affinity. You really have only like 2 or 3 different frequency levels that you're analyzing. So for this one, yeah, most of the bulk of them are 2. However, fortunately, for the other data set, the frequencies are far more diverse. So clonotype 1, this is from the March 2022, 287. That's hopefully this one scores very well in terms of docking. All of the other ones, there's a far greater diversity, especially in the beginning. And the better thing is, all of these clonotypes in the beginning of this spreadsheet, 1, 2, 3, 4, are complete sequences that are currently running through AlphaFold. So these I can work with. So what I'm thinking is, in order to get some immediate results in terms of sampling for frequency versus binding affinity, I'm going to dock all of the ones in this spreadsheet that have frequencies greater than 2, so like up to 37. It's not that much, but all the ones that have frequencies greater than 2, because essentially all of them are viable. And then I'll take maybe like a handful of 2 from here, and I'll also look at the ones that have frequencies of 2 from the June 10th database, because, again, the ones with higher frequencies in this database aren't viable sequences that can be run. They're not complete, whereas in the other one they are. So hopefully in this way I'll have a somewhat balanced representation of frequencies versus binding affinity, so there can be some results for your presentation this week. Hopefully I can get a decent balance. I mean, I'm also going to be studying for finals in this period, so because my exams are on Monday, so I'll see what I can do, but hopefully this shouldn't be too difficult. So yeah, AlphaFold results, all the sequences should be folded by Monday. I mean, they don't take long. I mean, I submitted what, like 100 sequences, and in a little over a day they were all done. I submitted separate jobs for like 20 sequences a job, and yeah, in a day they were basically done, so it shouldn't take too long. I'm not going to do regular relax because regular relax takes like 2 hours per structure. I'm just going to do fast relax. I've read somewhere, no, it was actually a miler. It wasn't a paper. It was like a thing on his website that said that fast relax and regular relax are very comparable in performance for the most part. There's probably caveats to that, but just for the sake of quick results, that's probably what I'll be looking at. Yeah, dock all of the ones with frequencies greater than 2 from the VDJ collection because there's far more diversity in complete sequences in that one. And then I'll also get some with frequencies of 2 from the other one, just to have sort of a balanced set. Yeah, I'll be meeting with you Wednesday. Hopefully I'll have some dockings by then. And Thursday after group meeting, maybe a little, because 316 is canceled on that day. Thank God. And then Friday with the results in the morning, hopefully. And yeah, clustering with MAFT CD hit, that's actually a really good idea. Thank you for suggesting that. And that will definitely be, I'll definitely look into implementing that down the road. I just don't know if I'll have the time to implement it this week, primarily because I looked into CD hit and the web server is down. The web server got killed in 2022. It was like by UC San Diego or something. And it's no longer hosting CD hit, and you have to install it from GitHub. And yeah, I mean, I've kind of had a bad history with that with IG Fold. Not that I'm not willing to try it, but just, yeah. So yeah, this is the plan for the immediate future. I'm excited to see, I guess, a more definitive trend in frequency versus binding affinity. And yeah, let's see what I can do. Hopefully there's some meaningful thing that can be done. Hopefully they extend the deadline, but, that's about all.